How are you today? So good to see you. Ooh, we've got a very special guest today. We have, and I always want to call her Sarah, but it's not Sarah. That's a long story. It's Anna Ahmad, and she's a tax advisor. And I've got my cheat sheet. ABIP, CPAs and advisors, right?
Right.
All right, we're off to a good start. Anna, thank you so much for being here. It's a treat to see you today.
Hi, glad to be here.
Yes. Okay, so now I didn't bother her at all about doing her video until after tax season. So tell me a little bit about ABIP and what you do as a tax manager.
Yes, so I'm personally part of the tax side, but as a firm, we do everything as a whole, tax services, audit, advisory, bookkeeping, and accounting services. I've been with the firm about 9 years now, and so I'm a senior manager there. And so we deal with, obviously, the compliance piece. We do all types of tax returns, even things outside your traditional, other than business, personal, non-for-profit, trusts and estates. We can even do all that, gift returns, things like that. And outside of that, we've got a huge advisory side. So if you need help with your buying a business, selling a business, you might need to know, what is the value of my business? How much can I sell it for? Things along that realm. Those are all things we can help with. So we try to be like your one-stop advisory and CPA shop for sure.
Yeah, because it's hard to understand and the rules always change.
They're always changing. We've got to keep up with them every year so that you don't have to.
Thank you. So you say you do it all, and that's wonderful because it's a one-stop shop. You can just trust them to help you with all aspects. So what's the ideal customer for you? What are you looking for?
Yeah, so really, it doesn't matter startup or established company. I would say somebody looking not just to have their tax return filed, but maybe also looking for an advisor, somebody who can give me the right guidance on how to help my business grow. What are maybe some strategies that we're not taking advantage of, kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. And of course, there's plenty of clients that are just, hey, I just want my CPA to file my return and be done with it, but we try to not be just the person you talk to on April 15th of every year. We want to have the touch points throughout the year, keep that open line of communication, and really hone in on the advisory piece of it.
Yeah, and that's great. You need someone you can talk to all year because things change, things happen, you grow,
Exactly.
You slide. So you're there as their advocate and a good sounding board and an advisor. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your favorite thing about what you do?
Definitely the client service. I mean, there's only so much you can sit behind a computer all day and look at numbers. It's nice. The meetings are nice. Even now we do so many Zoom calls, even post-COVID, people prefer it, but in person, whatever it is, even just phone calls. I love those introductory calls for prospect, meetings, and they say, oh, I heard great things about you from so and so, or a referral from such and such. That feels great, to know that we feel like, well, obviously that we're doing good service, but to actually have somebody else come back and say that and give us that same feedback is definitely why we do it.
Well, it's so important to have someone knowing what they're doing. So that I love. Yes, you don't want to. This is not something you guess on. You need an advisor.
No, it's great when clients try to pretend like they know how to do their own tax return, but we're like, well, you're paying us. Why don't you just take our advice?
So, and I mean, you're not just saving money or getting the best deal or getting the best return. You're really helping people stay in compliance.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And we deal with the IRS all the time, whatever it is the case may be. I mean, we're totally on top of that. Any notices or, if it escalates further than that, audits and stuff like that, we always help out with that.
So tell me if I read this right. So on your LinkedIn profile, it says you're the one that deals with the IRS.
Yes, I somehow along the way, it's obviously the job that nobody else wants to do on the team.
Did you draw the short straw or something? What happened?
I don't know what happened. I was like, okay, give it to me. And then everybody was like, okay. And then everybody started giving me their IRS notices. So yeah, I'm on my computer here working, and then I'm on hold. I hear the hold music for the IRS on the phone on the other side. So yeah, very frequent.
So that in itself, that means you need to call Anna because No one else volunteers to call the IRS. And that
Yeah.
just shows your strength and your knowledge that if you're in touch with the IRS, you know what you're doing and you know how to talk to them. So
Yeah, some once in a while you get those agents that is just like, okay, maybe it might be worth it for me to just hang up and try to call and get somebody else because this is just not working with this person, because it really differs from person to person, from agent to agent. That not all of them really know what they're doing, but they like to think they do. And so when I'm not getting the answer that I want, I'll be like, okay, well, let me just call back and try to get somebody else.
that shows persistence and determination and putting your best interests at heart. So that's amazing. I've heard that though, that if you're not getting the answer you want, that you say thank you and you call back.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
all right. So what is a good way for people to reach you? Email, phone number, a combination of both, and
Yeah.
whatever you feel comfortable with sharing, but you have to spell it out. If it's the email.
Yeah. Definitely email is always the best. It's Anna, A-N-A dot, I'm sorry, A-A-H-M-E-D. So my first initial, my last name, at abipcpa.com. So that's usually the best way to reach me. For sure, my office line is always available. That's 713-350-2415. And either one, I mean, like I said, I'd love to do, and people always ask, what's the best client for you? Who should I be sending over? I always say I'm always happy to have a conversation with anybody. I won't like weed anybody out from the start. Usually it'll come down to fees or something like that, and that's perfectly okay. But I'd like to talk to them first at least and see, if there's anything there we can help them with.
Well, that's my next point is if you're with a firm and you're either happy with them or you're not, it's good to have a conversation with somebody else, right?
Right, exactly. And not any, if you're happy with your CPA, sure. I mean, you're not really thinking about entertaining other things, but if you feel like, well, I feel like there could be more. I only talk to this guy, once a year, and I don't know, I pay a lot of tax. And no, I'm not saying that that's the CPA's fault. Like, I'm not going to say that, but it doesn't hurt to have another set of eyes on it to see if, there's something else that can be done, or, other strategies.
Yeah, and there's no obligation. You'll talk to somebody without any
Yeah.
obligation, right? So.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll talk to them. We'll, break down our process and what we do. Usually I'll ask to look at a prior year return, whatever the last return they filed was, so that I have a better idea of, some general requirements. And then I usually will give a fee estimate. And if they want to go from there, then engagement letter and that whole formal process. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of time to think about it. And I mean, there's been plenty of people I've talked to and they've decided, to not go with us, and that's perfectly okay. But we had that conversation at least. So
it's a good conversation to have if you're even on the fence of thinking about changing or discovering something new.
Or just exactly discovering something new. I like that.
Yeah. So, well, thank you very much. I've nailed you down after tax season. So, yeah. What are you gonna do now? What do you do?
Well, my husband just had surgery, so we're just kind of helping him recover from that. But then hopefully after that, we'll take some vacation.
Oh, good. You deserve it. All right, Anna, thank you so much for being here. Please give her a call, even if you have the slightest indication that you want to change or you want to talk to someone new or you have questions. She is always there for you. And remember, she's the one talking to the IRS. So yes. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you soon. Thank you, friends. Be safe and be well. Have a good one. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you.